All right. Well, everybody, welcome to IMT live streaming with one of the livest buds in my life. That was Rowan Corbett on banjo. We wanted to get the banjo out of the way early, right? um, and boy, that was good interlude stuff, man. And it's good to see you. You're going to be up a little later in the show.
Yeah.
So again, that was Rowan Corbett. This is IMT Folk. And now we're going to cut to our first artist tonight, Dalton Potter. There we go. Sounds like Dalton didn't unmute. We'll find out. There we go.
There we go.
All right. So I guess, Dalton, it was about a week ago where you said, hey, after all these years, how many years?
25 or 30 probably.
Yeah, but and you put out a CD.
Yep. Oh, that was, I said after 7 years of doing open mics and
Right.
Hosting them, I put together the songs that seemed to be the most popular.
And of course, I knew about the band, the Wharf Rats, because we've worked together.
Right.
But you said, no, this is your kind of more your solo stuff, really, it's featuring.
Yeah.
And then you said, I could bring it by the shop. And I said, no, I can pick it up. And for one day, I forgot. Or we both got busy. I didn't come by. Our shops are a mile apart.
We're neighbors.
Yeah. And then I came by and I said, you know what? We do this live streaming. You should do one of these because it'll help get the word out on the CD. And you said, you haven't heard it yet. And I said, Dalton, we've been friends for 30 years. I've heard your music. I can't imagine you'd spend 7 years and turn out a piece of junk. And of course, it's a wonderful CD, which I happen to have a copy here. And
product placement, baby.
There it is.
There you go.
So you'll do 3 songs, and then we'll come around for an encore later.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's so nice to be here with all you folks tonight, and I appreciate David so much for having me in. I used to think I had too many muses, and it seemed like I had always too many ideas, all rushing to get completed, and they never quite ever got there. I have unfinished masterpieces that litter my life like a Roman statue garden. And but this is one of the things that we managed to actually finalize and put it together and get printed. So I'm so happy to be able to say, yes, I have my new CD, and I hope you like some of the songs. I'm going to start out with this one. This is just a love song, And I do finger picking as well as strumming. I'm going to take my headphones off. Seemed like yesterday, put my dreams away, gave up on loving all over again. Your love was a rising tide, it filled the holes inside, gave me reason to live, my friend. Souls keep on searching for hope again. Hearts ache like it's never, ever gonna end. I look into your eyes, and there's a new day rising where doubts are gone, like yesterday's rain. So I'll rave tomorrow with the fear and sorrow, long as I got you, honey, by my side. No matter the waves may bring, for you I'll always sing the words and reach and warm your heart inside. Souls keep on searching for hope again. Hearts ache like it's never, ever gonna end. Look into your eyes, and there's a new day rising where doubts are gone, like yesterday's rain. Like yesterday's rain.
Well done, well done. Aptly timed, because didn't we have quite a rain yesterday? At least we did where I live. Yes.
Yeah. No, it was one of those songs that you're right, driving in the car.
Yeah.
And in that particular one, I was driving along probably 495 or Route 200 or something, and I could see these great big pink thunderheads off in the distance. It was, midsummer evening, and you're like, yesterday that was here, and I was just, you know how these ideas, they take you. So,
Sure.
Anyway, so speaking of driving, I do a fair amount of it because of the business I'm in. I travel around the country, fix violins, and
We can mention the day job. It's another find.
my shop is called the Potter Violin Shop, or the Potter Violins in Tacoma, Maryland. Anyway, as you drive down I-95, you get down there and you're going south of Richmond down into the Carolinas, you notice that there used to be a highway over to the side, and it's not a very big one. And you see all these old, homes, and you see small businesses and gas stations and stuff, and they're all got weeds in the parking lots are all cracked up, and there's nothing there anymore. So I just thought I'd write a song that can maybe capture that a little bit. She said, go on down, you'll find the place. You just keep on down that road. Years ago, the families lived there, building homes and lives, children ran out to play. And come the day when the 204 went through, and old side roads, oh, they start to fade. Like those fields that get the water last, in spite of all you done, they seen the day. And I said, my, the way things used to be, my, used to be. Taste the promise, share the blame. You know the lies we told were never gonna make the grade. A man can tell when all the magic's gone, and then he knows it's time to fade away. And the standing stones by the crossroads turn to gray as the tales they told are all but gone. Busted signs and dusty roads still point the way back home, and I'll be on my way. And I said, my. The way things used to be, my. Ooh, the way things used to be, my.
Yeah. I lived up in Berkeley Springs for a while, and they defeated one of those super highways from sort of going right around the town, which would have put all of those businesses out of business. Yeah. And people still complained about all the trucks having to come through, right down the main street. And I would tell these people, I said, look, the trucks are coming through, but so is everybody else.
Right.
If you send them out on 2 miles north of the city, all of these businesses are going to close. And
yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful little town. That's a perfect example. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, take care of those truck drivers. They move our stuff around. When everybody was locked in their basement and you could still get groceries, that's some guy you never knew about that maybe started his day in Alabama and winds up in Michigan. Thankful they're around. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of driving, this is a song that's dedicated to the infamous Route 200.
But wait. Where can we get the CD? You haven't.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Oh, yes.
Yes. So, come on. Market it. There it is.
I don't have a personal website for this yet. I'm still getting on that. But my first name, Dalton, is easy to remember. And that would be Dalton at potterviolins.com. You can just send me an email, or you can friend me on Facebook and send me a Facebook message, and I'll be happy to send something out to you. And we're just happy to be here and happy to sing the songs again.
All right, and then finally, before your last song, tell me about on the crawler here. It says cmrocks.org. Donate.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of folks, and they're out there, and they're looking to help support people that may not have been as fortunate coming through the COVID thing, or maybe even just they're not as fortunate. Period. I'm a big supporter of Rockville Community Ministries, and that cmrocks.org is the way to send money off to them. They support the House of Ruth. They support a number of shelters up here in Rockville. They also run a number of secondhand stores, used clothing and recycling things. So they're a good place.
Cool. All right. So that, folks, you see it on the screen.
Please. Even $5 is useful to them. So you'd be surprised at how a small amount can go a long way when it's not being eaten up and wasted.
Well, it's great too that, obviously a lot of musicians don't have, like in this case, the day jobs that you have. So they need donations direct to them, and you're kind of saying, I'm actually better off than a lot of people. So let's put some money to an organization that you really care about. And that's very commendable. So,
I would say I'm just broke at a higher level.
well, yes, there's that.
Okay.
All right.
So this next song is a song that came to me while I was driving home from a gig up in Baltimore, and I was using the brand new Route 200 cut through from I-95 over to 270, and it was big and wide, and it had nobody on it because they were charging to be on it, and I just happened to be lucky enough to have one of those Easy Pass things early on, and it just it's a song that's really dedicated to the musicians out there that coming home late at night, and sometimes some of us have driven so that we're coming home early in the morning, and it feels good to just acknowledge that there's a person there waiting for you when you get home. So thank you to everybody tonight. I'll see you later on. I'm going to do this song here. It's been a long day. Feels like a hard fight. It's been a long time. You ain't by my side. I'm going home. I'm crossing Montgomery. Road I'm riding seems wide, empty-hearted, and I just got started. I'm coming home. I'm crossing Montgomery. My share of lonely. I'm at home now. You are my own. Now on the album I have wonderful people playing along with me. Mr. Alan Oreski on fiddle, Michelle Murray singing vocals, and Jeff Jones. And all that stuff is on the album, but it's not here tonight. It's early morning. Birds are calling. Sun is rising. And I come flying. Crossing Montgomery. And heaven knows I've seen my share of lonely. I'm headed home, my honey. You are my own. Crossing Montgomery. Crossing Montgomery. Crossing Montgomery.
I've always heard you in the big band format, and this is really a wonderful surprise.
Thank you.
It's just it's wonderful. I'm glad you just believed in us to take a chance. I gave you all of like a week's notice on this, right? But
well, look, you've got some awesomely talented people here. I was listening to them earlier, and just with the rehearsing and everything, I'm
kind of
very
fun and
privileged to be on this lineup tonight. So thank you so much.
well, it's mutual, so thank you. And speaking of privilege,
There
here we
go.
have,
Here she comes.
here she is.
Here she comes again.
Well, hello, Heather.
Hi.
It's good to see you again, and it only took me a few moments to see how you coordinated your background with your front ground, and it's a beautiful thing. And it's
Plants, man, they're everywhere.
yeah. So let's see. You're going to do 3 Dylan songs tonight, probably.
Man, I only know personally the one Dylan song. I have to
Okay.
pick another. So if you had to pick one other that you thought
Yeah.
I should learn, I understand this is homework that may take longer than just this conversation.
Yeah. Oh, it would just be my back pages. But anyway, we're on to something else. Anyway, basically, whenever Heather appears, I throw money her way to get a Dylan song, because I like Dylan. So does Heather. So, okay, but it's not about that. It's
not about Dylan.
It's about you. So when you're not blasting away with Illy Amy, you do solo shows.
I do.
And so this is obviously an example of what you get if you hire Heather and get a solo show. So take it away.
Oh, wow. It's all happening so quickly. I've only been in this game for, I don't know, 18, 19 years. So I'm going to start with something to comfort myself. I've had a tough day. I think a lot of people have had tough days. I wrote this for myself, having tough days, specifically during quarantine. I imagined what I might say to myself if I found myself wandering as a child in the woods. You know, what would adult you, who's already been through it, come and say to the kid who was lost? So this is called Are You Lost? We'll get out of this, my child, you'll see. I've done my share of wandering. Are you out here in the woods all alone? Are you lost or did you lose someone? And I know it's been far too long, and daylight is a fairy tale, a nursery song. The hours slipped away and the months. Halfway there, now you're back at work. Oh, little world, I've been this way before. So many roads, no one can be sure. But I found a way and I made it through to pass it down to you, and you will too. And all the while you are lost. Sure as you are seeking, you are being sought. I know it's hard, I know you lie awake, but it's okay, you get to be afraid. Hey, we'll be this way again. So many roads, no knowing where they end. But we'll find a way, and we will make it through to pass it down to you. You will too. You will too.
That's a keeper.
Aw, thanks.
That's a keeper. Oh, man.
Oh, I didn't mean to mess you up early. I should have saved it. I should have kept one in the chamber.
But I mean, lots of people may come up with sort of thoughts like that, but the ability to quickly turn it into a song. Like you've probably only played that 15 times to yourself, maybe, right?
Probably less. Quarantine was weird because, I may or may not have been sick in the beginning. I had a really significant respiratory illness right around the beginning of quarantine, and for the first 3 weeks kind of shut myself away. And then even the first couple open mics that I did for Rob, though it didn't sound that way, like I was turning to my husband like, I am like racing to catch my breath here, which is weird. That's so scary when you sing for a living.
Yeah.
So for the first 3 weeks I wrote, I didn't play. And then slowly began to piece that together. And I've really played it maybe every other live stream or so.
It's great stuff.
Thanks.
It's great stuff. One day the world is going to discover you and Rob and Amy and Rowan, and I'm going to sit there going, what took you guys so long?
Nah, you've been there, man.
I mean, I have been there, and I will continue to be there. And it's just, it's such good stuff all in one band. And then as you guys break out into doing solo stuff, I mean,
now,
anyway.
we were talking about doing like our next Amy project, and the fact that Rowan's songs, we may now be more than a 2-songwriter band.
Yeah.
I have always thought, because somebody was saying like, how do you brand a band like that? And it's like, it's Fleetwood Mac, man. It's Fleetwood Mac for the modern age.
Yeah.
And so, like the modern Fleetwood Mac, like without most of the drama, now at least.
Okay. Well, come lead us on. Lead us out of the forest into something else.
I will.
Now.
God, I will do something chipper, for the love of God. Figure if I bring you way down, it's going to be easy to, I don't know, I have you in the palm now. Do with you as I wish. We're going to go from being lost in the woods to a very successful one-night stand. So I'm going to take you as far away from where I started you as possible. This is called That One Time. You're still too beautiful for your own good. And if you weren't so kind, I'd worry about the favors you come asking me to do. Easy to have a soft spot for you. And was that one time for once in the same time you walked me back to my hotel after we'd had a couple rounds? I wouldn't stop talking. You kissed me to calm me down and left me speechless at the door. Kept in touch where we could. A phone call right to the airport. A place to stay. A bottle of wine. And at one time I cracked a joke. Wasn't a joke at all. It took my hand and you let me down. once into again, but some things stand alone, stand apart. It's no sin. We were smart, my friend, and I smile when those girls write their songs for you and sing along. Because I know a thing or two, but I never wrote you up. Didn't seem the thing to do. You didn't heal my heart or leave me crying. You just stayed the night. That one time.
Yeah, that's definitely a Torch song. Woo! You didn't write any songs for him, but you thought about it. That's good. Too many of those other girls writing songs.
Well, that's the irony. That's the
Yeah.
irony of the line, you know, inherently there. It's like, I didn't. I held out. And then it was like, I heard this girl's song. I was like, I know who that's about.
Right. But yeah, you took the higher road. Yes. No, I'm not gonna.
No, but is it taking the higher road if you, like, acknowledge that you took the higher road? Like, to me, that's shade. Like, I threw musical shade.
Yeah. Sort of. Anyway. Whew, what an amazing thing, the way you can just literally one song from the other, you just change the whole mood of the room. Everybody's like, they're being knocked off their couches now. You know, they're like, whoa, where did that come from? You know, so.
I enjoy the emotional yo-yo. I feel like, you have so little control in this world during quarantine that I'm just going to mess with your heart.
That's good.
Because I can.
Yeah, and we're all vulnerable now. You know, it's like, hey, you know, why not?
Oh, there's a soft spot. Let me poke it with my finger.
Well, yep. We're almost working that out through the medium. So my good buddy Dave Richardson, who is monitoring the show, and he's president of IMT, he has now said, in nicer words than I'm going to say, Dave, stop talking. So he wants me to stop talking so you can play more music. So Dave, I hear you, and I am now pulling back to give Heather her last song.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. I went for the super, super heartbreak, like sad. I went for the super, super sexy of it all. How do I send you off? It's like I made no set list for this, which I didn't. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play a song that we haven't gotten to play together as a band for a little while. We were actually talking about this one, and I set up 2 guitars, so I might as well use them. Iliami, I Love You and I Miss You, the band that I am part of. Rowan, who's coming up, is also part of the band. This was actually like a complete accident. We all wound up on the show together. He's right there. I feel like the Tin Man, whenever I do these things, it's like, you know. So we did a live show where we just we are our best selves. Like, we just had the greatest show of our lives. And of course, I'm like winding myself around my headphones. Give me just a second here to do this. And there's Rowan stuff on it, there's me stuff on it, there's Rob stuff on it, there's covers on it. And this song, which Rob was really craving the other night, and we didn't get a chance to play it because my internet at my place conked out. Either for storm or God only knows what. That's part of the reason why I'm at my parents'. This is not my very well-kept plant behind my head. So anyway. So Rob really wanted to play this song, and we didn't get a chance to do it, so I'll do it now. So that was the Taylor, this is the Martin. Martin has the medium strings in Dad Gad, nice beefy beauty. oh, just holding it. It's like, it's voluptuous. This is a song called I Didn't Take It Down. And it's on the Iliami live album that we just put out. Dad, get ride or die. Sorry, I got comments on the side and it's cracking me up. I also want to be perfectly in tune for you. Actually, this is open D. It's Dad Gad with a little extra. It's a true story of a painting that was made for me and given to me by my ex after we broke up, that I hung on a wall for a year and got progressively angry at until I hid it in a closet. But then I didn't feel like that was the right thing to do, so I hung it up in a hallway that I never went down for any reason, so I could still say it was on my wall and I didn't take it down. Promised you would love me more than any other man. The time you said it first, and we made love in your bed. You're gonna have to trust me on it. Sometimes you forget, 'cause I didn't take it down. No, I didn't take it down. Over the painting made to keep me company. My lonely apartment, moved it to a different wall. I don't always have to see, but I didn't take it down. No, I didn't take it down. Oh, so many things floating in the air. My heart is yours, but my head so heavy, dear. Oh, call me a shelter, but I have no. I ask for so little, you won't ask for more. One and only comfort when it comes to withdrawal is I didn't take it down. No, I didn't take it down. Oh, so many things floating in but my head so heavy, dear. But my head's so heavy, dear, and I cannot seem to put it down. No, I cannot seem to put it down.
Very nice.
I gotta kind of compose myself here.
Aw, I get Dave all messed up.
Oh,
That's how you
man.
know I win.
But it's mostly to remind people to please tip the artists.
Yeah, I
You know,
broke.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. So, you know, you just, I mean, if you went into a restaurant and these were on a jukebox, you'd spend $5 or $10 without seeing them, and you'd hear this stuff. So throw a 20 at them, throw a 50, you know, just, I mean, this is weird in that, you know, all of the musician friends, doesn't matter who you are, you're not gigging right now in front of live audiences. And if that's your income, it's, you know,
Like, you
it
know
hurts.
it's bad when I've taken up gardening.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
Yeah. I mean, I have 3 trucks full of ready-to-go live sound systems. One of them I had to jump start the other day. I haven't driven it in so long. The battery was dead. So, you know, it was kind of like a reminder, you know. It's just, yeah. So,
Oh, I'm so excited, though. See, this is good. Since he's below me,
yeah,
I just point, and there he is.
that's true.
There he is.
All right. Well, let's move smoothly. We'll segue. Make some, you know, hit those tips, and then also, Rowan, here we go. I lost track of how long it was when you walked into the music store. It was a long time
It was
ago.
fall of '99.
Okay, 21 years.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You would come off the Renaissance Festival circuit, sort
Yes,
of.
I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd been doing Ren fairs for about 4 years for a living at that point.
Yeah.
And then I moved back here with my bandmates, Brooke and
Yeah.
Sean McLaughlin, now Brooke Parkhurst. Yeah, and you know, I ended up working at the store,
Yeah.
House of Musical Traditions, and it changed the trajectory of my life.
Well, and mine too. I mean, and I remember, I guess we could talk about it now, the famous, when you designed the computer system.
Oh,
And we have and we're way ahead of schedule, folks, so you gotta hear this story. It's a great story. We have a way of, you know, a customer would order something or need a repair done or whatever, so we would write all the information in this newfangled computer system. And then there was a little section at the bottom of the screen that we're looking at and the customer doesn't see. And it's called the wank factor.
No, we're not gonna. Yeah.
No? Okay. Okay.
I mean, you know,
It was a warning.
People get frustrated when they're,
Yes.
you know, when they're working retail, and you have very few outlets for that frustration. You know, if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, so
It just was a
yeah.
warning that the next time you dealt with this person, if the wank factor was high enough, it was sort of giving you a little bit of a heads up that this person, don't take it personally, basically. It might mean that this person was a little tough to deal with. And obviously, for the most part, you know, we don't use it anymore, but it was just kind of a hysterical, because I got worried. I thought this was the thing the customer saw
No.
when his special order came in.
And it didn't last very long. It didn't last very long.
No,
so.
but it was sort of an introduction to how computers work for me. I was like, what did he do? He set this up. But yeah, that was just the start of things.
Yeah. So.
And you ended up working at the Maryland Ren Fest with us quite a
little
bit.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And Brooke was working at the store, and now Brooke's moving back to
Yeah,
to
she
Tannytown.
Yeah, she spent several years living in Western Virginia, so out in the mountains there.
Yeah.
And she's moving back this way now. So, you know, that's cool. Yeah, we get close. You get to be closer to, you know, one of my bandmates, who's also one of my best friends ever. So,
Yeah.
you know, so it'll be. She's not that much closer, but
No,
that much more close.
Taneytown's an hour.
Yeah, but it's easier to see her. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
hour versus an hour and a half. So.
I'm just hoping she does the bakery again.
Oh yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Brooke is celiac, so you know she ran a gluten-free bakery. You know, she became an amazing gluten-free baker, and you know, yeah, great stuff. But she unfortunately she sort of lost the building that she was in. You know, got sold out from under her. So you know, it sort of stumbled along for a little while, but it just wasn't tenable without the building that she was in, and she'd put a lot of time and money into it. But you know, she's doing other stuff now. She's a great baker. If you're looking for someone to bake you something gluten free for like a wedding or something, you know, hit her up.
I don't know if it'll be a wedding, but I gotta have some. I'm over my limit on those, but it could be somebody else's. But yeah, I guess she'll do one of these as well.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Yeah.
So, wow, whew, the memory machine just opened up big time. See what you've done, and you haven't even started playing yet. All right, well, folks, this is it. Rowan's gonna take off now.
Let's have that folk song we heard so much about. Working in this shanty town, it's become my home. We're all now filled with our friends, nothing to call my home. Shanty town, my home. Shanty town. When the rain comes down, this becomes a muddy hole. Everybody disappears except me. I stay in my tent alone. Shanty town, my home. Shanty town. Makes no sense, they call us bums and they hide the children when we come. But we don't wanna hurt no one, just wanna live our lives and then move on. Work's done, I'll get my pay. Put on my coat and hop the train. I leave my tent and my tools, so some other fool can live this way. working in this shanty town. It's become his home, where all his fair-weather friends, nothing to call his own. Shanty town, his own shanty town.
Yeah. How old is that song?
Oh, actually, that's pretty old. I probably wrote that a little over 20 years ago. So
Wow.
yeah,
It still
back
has
when I
quite
was
a bit
doing
of
records,
relevance. A lot of relevance.
yeah.
Huh. How about when I first met you and you're playing in Tinsmith, you were doing mostly boron and bones and just starting to play fretted instruments, at least
Well,
in the band.
I played guitar. I wasn't terribly good at it, but
Well, but I mean, it was more like the feature you were holding together was the percussion.
yeah. For like, when I first, guitar has always been my first love, but it's the one that I've struggled with the most.
Huh.
Percussion has been a thing that, that came a lot easier to me. Like I've been playing bones, like 25 years now or something like that, and it's been effortless for me for a long time.
Yeah.
And but guitar has like really just it's pushed me, and now that I'm learning banjo now, and it's a whole new challenge, and it's they look very similar in a lot of ways, but the way you play them is different.
Sure.
And it's odd. I feel like I have more of a facility for that than I do for the guitar. So but I'm still early days with the banjo. So
How did you end up with the Carolina chocolate drops? How did that? I have one way that I think it happened, but I'm going to let you tell the true story because I'm wondering whether I think it happened the same way.
Well, I was at Folk Alliance
Yeah.
one year, and I was there with Tinsmith, and people kept saying, "Hey, there's this other black guy who's playing bones. You should check him out." And named Dom Flemons, and I kept hearing that from various people, and then eventually we met up, because I went and saw, they did a showcase, one of the guerrilla showcases they do, in like a hotel
Sure.
room, and they were playing, and then after the show we ended up talking. He's like, "Yeah, like people have been telling me there's this black guy who's playing the bones. You should see that guy." And we ended up, jamming a little bit in the hallway, and then whenever they would come to the DC area, I would go to shows, and they would, ask me up on stage. And when Dom left the band at the end of 2013, they asked me if I would be interested in, trying to go at it. So
Because I remember when IMT produced them, you attended the show. And I remember you were guested in two ways. One, because you were an employee of the shop, and two, because the band wanted you there.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay, cool. And then they called you up on stage. I was like, wow, hey, that works. I was like, so in my mind, I say, oh, they met at the IMT concert, but obviously it was before that. So it was a great thing. And Dom's living in DC.
yeah, he lives in this area now.
And he's not gone. He's stayed very trad.
Yeah.
And his show is pretty amazing, banjo history stuff. And
Oh yeah, there are a few people who have as encyclopedic a knowledge of early 20th century music. He's just amazing.
yeah, when we produced Pete Seeger on very short notice, and very short notice in that we had Mike Seeger and Peggy Seeger, and we were told that Pete was not going to be there until 10 days before the event, when Pete called up and said, "Hey, how come I'm not invited?" And we're like, okay. So in 10 days, we, the thing skyrocketed. And this guy, whom I hadn't met yet, Dom, he came to the show we were loading in at 3 o'clock, and he was there, and he had under his arm a bunch of LPs, Pete Seeger LPs, and he told me that he had driven like a long distance, and then, is there any way he could talk to Pete? And I said, sure, I mean, it makes sense. You drove a zillion hours. You're a good guy. You got his LPs, and so that's how I met Dom. It was like,
Awesome.
and I'd listened to them talking for a while, and of course, Pete was thrilled to have somebody that went that far back, with him.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
huh. All right, what do we got next?
This is a song called "The Minotaur."
Ah, it's a tinsmith.
Oh no, it's a original song of mine. So
Okay.
this is not ancient Greece. I am no oracle. I'm prone to the many faults and flaws of all mankind. My father, he is no god, he is but flesh and bone. But flesh is weak, bones will break, just like courage and resolve. As a boy, I prayed to be just like you, to earn your art, your honor and your courage, your resolve. This is not ancient Greece, but I see the monster you become. The Minotaur shadow on the wall. Your words pursue me through a maze of crippled logic. Disturbed by your lack of faith, confined by your resolve. Just behind me now, and I've got nowhere left to run. You track my every movement. So you've won, put me in my place, and I'll never doubt you again. But when the volcano blows, the ash falls down like rain, I still love you, but I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same.
Minotaur. That's available on the new Iliami download on.
I think so. I'm trying to remember because there were some
according,
songs. Yeah.
According to our backdoor engineer, it is.
Okay. Yes. So.
So you can get it on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
It's an incredible show. What else? Make sure folks send in some tips. You see Rowan stuff up there. PayPal me at Rowan Corbett, Venmo at Rowan Corbett. Please send it in. It's just,
and Dalton's got a great.
Yeah.
Also has a great charity that he wants people to donate.
And Heather's broke. Right. So.
Yeah, and let's give some Heather love out there.
Yeah.
So.
So that brought forth a quick. Rob came on there just for a brief moment to.
So all right.
It does feel like we're sitting in a living room, which is kind of the goal here. It's really. Someone complained that my cat was in the background licking its private parts, which I was paying no attention to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's one of the new things with this whole like work from home thing is like people are like, oh, I got to clean up my house because people are gonna see.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Richard Thompson and his wife, did a live from his living room couch. And right as it was starting, his wife came by running the vacuum cleaner. Richard had to chase her out, saying, "No, honey, we're on the air now. I'm not playing, but we're on the air." So, yeah, this is
awesome.
This is a very different world out there.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got? Give us one more go. What do we got?
All right, this one's called "Charm and Strange." This is also on that recording with Iliami.
Cool.
We do, we've been doing a few more of my songs now, and
Excellent.
it made it on there. So. Watching you melt down, hearing you break. Charm and strange, no longer insane. Such a cold vision that we can't bear to watch. But radiation is deadly, I'm used to the spot. As it all rains down, ashes sift to the ground. We move like waves, but we strike with the force of light. And as we speed through space, time comes grinding to a halt. Neither here nor there, we span the space between it all. Never hard in the cold, we're thriving on the strife. Only counting decay, breathing half life. So we'll bleed out this heat, we'll shine in the dark, permeate the aether, try not to spark. It all rains down, ashes sift to the ground. We move like waves, but we strike with the force of light. And as we speed through space, time comes grinding to a halt. Neither here nor there, we span the space between it all. Between it all. calm and strange, no longer insane. Such cold vision that you can't bear to walk. The radiation is deadly, we're used to this spot.
All right. Man, time is just zooming by. It's great. It's great. And that's some great playing on that too. Like man. Did we mention how the kind of funny twist of events where you, because of the protest march, that you actually gained a little work?
Yeah. So
This is strange.
So one of the other things that I do, is I do art handling. Working in museums, doing installations, installing artwork and exhibits, and sometimes I do some work at National Geographic, and they had me come down to help them out on Friday, and it was to board up the place, in anticipation of possible violence with the protests down there, because they're just 5 blocks north of the White House. So that was surreal.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's move from surreal to the very real. Let's do one more as sort of an encore here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here, let me. I'm gonna switch instruments if that's okay.
Does that mean you're picking up a banjo?
It does indeed.
Ah, yes.
All right. Here we go. So yeah, like I said, banjo is a newish thing for me. I've only been playing clawhammer banjo for about 2 years. With the Chocolate Drops and with Rhiannon, I played plectrum banjo. But I finally decided to knuckle down and get some time in with the clawhammer banjo.
Yep, yep. You've moved from 4 strings to 5. You've moved from, yeah, it's good. You know, and a lot of the world still doesn't understand that clawhammer is actually earlier than bluegrass. Bluegrass is a
Oh, yeah.
hybrid. I mean, you and I know that, of course, but
Yeah.
you know, it's to me, it's such a more palatable sound. It's not as twangy and barky and zingy as
Yeah.
bluegrass. I like bluegrass banjo a lot, but it's a whole different feel with clawhammer. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Rowan.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for having me on.
And beneath you is the sultry voiced. And here she comes. I want to mention IMT. You'll see on the top of the screen. You can donate to imtfolk.org. That's a great place to send your stimulus money. I mean, you know, just maybe not all of it, you know, but send us something because we're putting this on, and we also pay an honorarium to each musician, and blah blah blah. It's good having Heather play over this. You know, it's kind of like, okay, it's like the Gong Show. All right, get this guy off. All right, so Rowan, thank you.
Thank you.
And Heather, take us into Encore Land here.
Ooh. Okay. This is a song about the way we still see women in the light of Eve's shame. I figure it is important to think about the way my stepson goes crazy because he says I'm like way too into the particulars of language, and I correct him every time he makes little, you know, sort of not quite entirely accurate statements. It's like, you're doing it again. It's like, yeah, I'll be doing it forever. So this is about analyzing that stuff in yourself. God, please make me a stone. I don't want to feel anything anymore. Oh, my soft heart never came to any good. I can't find a blue-eyed boy to love me like he should. It's my heart keeping you awake. You prefer my lips to damning out a garden gate. Could be before the flood, and we'll just ask all the disasters not to come with us. Like that's enough. Boy, please leave me alone. You will never know what I know, what I've done. Centuries, my legacy. How they curse my name. I made you like God, but all you remember is my shame. It's my heart keeping you awake. You prefer my lips to damning out a garden gate. We could be years before the flood. We'll just ask all the disasters not to come with us.
garden, that's how a woman made you great. What would you be if not for me? The very people that you hate, they have borne their punishment, they have earned a better fate, and I will face my God again. I am unafraid. Are you unafraid?
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Whew. All right. Whew.
It's a good thing
Dalton.
I'm so chipper.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. And Dalton,
Thank you, guys.
we're gonna do something. Dalton requested backstage. He said, "Well, my song's actually a little on the short side, so I'm going to add, if it's okay, some instrumental." And I said, "But of course, and, you know, even if it was a little long, you can add a little instrumental picking, and it'll be great." But you've got to unmute yourself. I don't know if I can see. There he goes. He couldn't hear me, but maybe he could. You should unmute.
I could hear you just fine.
Oh, there you go.
Listening. So what's great is that, you know, in the background, if they'd had me up on camera, they would just see me playing harmonica along with other stuff. And
All right.
along with, with Rowan. It's so much fun. And that's part of the spirit of the open mics that I used to host. I don't have time to do it right now, and it's kind of hard to get people together, but this is so much fun. But it reminded me that this album that I'm just releasing now is really a work that's been in progress for a couple of years. And so moving along, the next thing that I happen to be putting out is going to be an instrumental album that is got a lot of different feels to it. But as a young man, I went to Berklee College of Music and got a lot of jazz education, and then had to unlearn everything. You know,
Right.
So you don't think, you just play. And
Yeah.
one of the beauties of live music is being able to just bring something out for people that they never saw before and they're never going to see again. For just a minute or so, I'm going to do a little vamp on a couple of chords, and we'll see what happens. And then I'll play a song. The other thing I wanted to say was that this is so beautiful. These folks have just made such beautiful music tonight, and you hear these original tunes, and they're just breathtaking, and you're not going to hear them again. But the whole thing about having songs out there is that, you know, you get to interpret them too. So in this particular case, the song that I'm going to do after my little instrumental is by Nancy Griffith, and you'll recognize it about maybe halfway into it. But there was a very famous bass player here in the DC area, used to be a customer of mine, named Keeter Betts.
Oh, it was wonderful.
And he said,
Great jazz.
play anything you want, just make sure that you don't borrow it. You got to steal it and make it your own. And I've taken that to heart. But anyway, just for a few minutes, I want to do something. Can you hear that? just for the fun of it. All right, so let me get along to this little song I was talking about. Rita, she was 16 years, hazel eyes and chestnut hair, made that Woolworth County shine. Eddie was a smooth romancer, and a darn good dance. Late night they waltz, the fires at the fire. Sing and dance a little closer, ooh, a little closer now, a little closer tonight. Dance a little closer, honey, 'cause it's closing time and love's on sale tonight. Here at the Five and Dime. Eddie played a steel guitar. Mama cried 'cause he played them bones. He'd keep young Rita out late at night. So they married up in Abilene, lost a child in Tennessee. Yet still that love survived. Sing and dance a little closer. A little closer now, a little closer tonight. Dance a little closer, honey, 'cause it's closing time and love's on sale tonight. Here at the Five and Dime. Eddie played guitar and bass till arthritis took his hands. Now he sells insurance on the side. And Rita's got a house to keep. She writes down stone novels and love so sweet, and the dance to the radio late at night. Sing and dance a little closer, a little closer now, a little closer tonight. Dance a little closer, honey, 'cause it's closing time and love's on sale tonight. Here at the Five and Dime. Rita, she was 15 years, hazel eyes and chestnut hair. She made that Woolworth County shine. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Nice.
Whew, whew, man.
Well, thank you.
Making violins by day and
Music when
making
the sun
folk
goes
music
down.
at night.
There you go.
Wow. Thank you, Dalton. This was good. Thank everybody. I want to, before we get into the gushy part of the show and thanking everybody, I want to say that next week, which is highly unusual, but I have all three artists confirmed. So we're going to have Joey Jenkins. There's a singer that sometimes plays as a duo with Freebo. And
Oh, Alice Howe?
why, yes, Alice Howe is confirmed. And I guess you know her and like
Yeah,
her,
I
probably
do.
met her. Yeah, I've worked with her once, and I think she's fabulous.
She's a sweetheart, too.
And then from Colorado, we have Gabrielle Louise.
Oh,
So
awesome.
it's, again, they're going to all be here next Friday. And
Your reach is nationwide, baby.
I know. Well, it's, and that's the odd thing about this, is that it's not about geography anymore.
No.
No.
you know, if you got a living room and a microphone, we can hook you up. So it's a very, but tonight was very special. It just kind of came together, and we didn't have any technical problems thanks to Rob back there.
Yeah, hey Rob.
Nah, I mean, the show's over now. You're not going to fall
God.
apart.
Hey, there he is.
Look, Rob, stay on screen for a minute. Yeah.
I'm gonna give Rob a special call out for staying up with me way too late, helping me work through my problems with my interface. Thank you, man.
I too called him twice.
Yeah, no, he was barely got his dinner tonight because of me.
No, this was a good evening, and for people watching, you know, this is what we can do until we can do other things. And frankly, this ain't bad. It's a different vibe. I don't know that streaming will ever go away because, again, it's, you know, it has its appeal, and especially when it's not forced as the only way to go, it may get even more amazing. So.
Well, there are times when you don't feel like going out. You want to sit home in
Yeah.
your living room and watch some beautiful music on the big screen and stay
Yeah.
away from the news and all that kind of
I
stuff.
mean,
It's cool.
and sometimes, I mean, like I love playing out. There's some shows that are just out of my reach price wise.
Yeah.
Tool was gonna play in DC, and I was like, let me look at the price of the tickets, and there wasn't anything that wasn't like up in the nosebleed seats that were
Sure.
less than $700, and I'm like, that's just not.
My
it's
husband
not
just got his refund on that show.
Oh man.
Rowan,
Yeah, I've only lost one show.
when you mentioned the nosebleed seats, when I went to University of Maryland, there was the Ritchie Coliseum,
Oh,
yes.
right? And that was built and still being used even when Cole Fieldhouse, but Ritchie only held 4,000 people. And when you played the Minotaur song, which is your song, just called the Minotaur, there is a band called the Incredible String Band at the time, and they released, it was two guys, Robin Williamson, not Robin Williams, Robin Williamson, and Mike Heron, Heron. And they had a band called Incredible String Band, and that was one of their big songs. And I remember seeing them at Ritchie Coliseum thinking, I mean, it's such a sensitive, acoustic, you know, just every you got to hang on every little note. It's a great band. But again, it was booked, and this is University of Maryland, they were the support act for the Jefferson Airplane, which was a real mistake. It just made no sense at all. So I was one of the few people out of the 4,000 that actually was more interested in the Incredible String Band, but we crawled all the way up in the top back rafters, nosebleed seats at Cole Fieldhouse, which meant if you didn't have any weed, it didn't matter because it would all waft its way up.
And ladies and gentlemen, on
So-
that note,
Yes, indeed.
smoke 'em if you got 'em. I hope you're in your pajamas.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We have been the Institute of Musical Traditions.
That's right.
Have
So
a
this was
lovely
great.
night. Have a
Thank
great
you so
night.
much
All right,
for
night,
having me,
y'all.
release
Thank you
my
again.
CD.
All right, everybody.
Everybody
Sleep
wave.
well.
Everybody wave.
Yay.
IMT.
Tune in next week.
All right, all right.
Forward to it. Thanks, guys. It was nice meeting you.
Pleasure.